The door hinges, now it's pretty self-explanatory. One thing that is sort of interesting is that when you're trying to remove the harness from the door, when you're removing the door, there's a rubber boot that sits over here. You can peel that back and there's a black plastic housing back there. There's 3 tabs, I believe 1 in the bottom, 2 on the top, or the other way around, that you push in, that you can pull that out. As you pull that out, these 2 become available, and by pushing in the tab here and the one on the bottom, you can actually remove these 2 from the door harness. I'm going to be removing everything from this door just so that we can have the parts and pieces. Okay, that was the inner strip. The outer strip is also connected with T20, T15. There's a small hole in here. Right out. Now you can lift the outer strip off there as well. So we got a few 8mm screws here. Bolts and nuts that I just took out are for the window regulator. There. There's the window assembly. Comes out. Upper. This is the passenger door. So then we have the locking mechanism over on this side. That is, I believe it's a T27, but a T25 works as well if you don't go too crazy. It's just 3 on the side of the door. Here's a little cap. You take that off. You get access to another T27 or T25 if you're careful. That is gonna take out locking the door handle mechanism, what you have to do is you have to hold the door handle open and then take it loose. As you do that, this piece comes out and the door handle comes down. Behind the door handle then is another T25. You take that out, and it comes loose. And then if you take the door handle out, and another 10mm behind here is a rail for the window track. You take that out, and that's kind of in the way as well for that mechanism to come out. And now the whole door mechanism, as well as the latch with the pull table, comes out from the internals. The door handle slides through here, and then there's a cavity in here that it sits in. And this is also the lock if you can get in with the battery. If the battery and fob is dead, you just pull the key out, pop this off, this hole comes off, and your lock is behind it. And that's what sits in here. So now, just to keep the parts and pieces together, I'm just gonna screw this back in, just so that we don't lose things. And then the last thing that we have really is just the door stripping. As well, get those after, so you can break in the rubber. And there, let's see if we can get these just as easy as that. You have removed the rubber. This whole entire door is stripped of all the usable pieces. If I can't use them myself, then there may be pieces for resale. On the first test drive, heard a bunch of clanging. Well, this is not necessarily the way it's supposed to be. This is loose, and that is disconnected from this. So, definitely something not kosher here with this shock. And I'm gonna, unfortunately, replace that. All right, so then we have all this around the opening of the door. We're gonna start with this. There is a couple of pins here that you need to get off. Once those are out, you can work this rubber all the way around to get it out. Come to the other side, and there's going to be a couple of sleeving. Yep, there's two. And three. Beyond the rubber, the metal strip that runs here, it runs over here. So this is one piece right here, put together with the three Torx screws. There's one at the top as well, that's correct. 4 Torx screws. Comes right out. So if anybody is interested in any parts of this car, just hit me up in the DM. Preferably in the New England area, of course, depending on the part, but shipping can get pretty expensive. There's actually slides together in the back. This part of the rail slides on a little stubby piece that's on the rear window. So be careful of that and not just rip it towards you, just slide it off easy. And then we have the gasket that runs all the way along the bottom. And that's obviously very easy, just pulls out. We have the Mach 1 plate. The plate is actually held together by two clips. There's one on this side, front side, so just sort of feel for it. There, you hear that? They're probably about an inch or two in on the edge, up there and there. And then you gotta be careful in the center. This is where it's glued down. So I sort of just have a tool, and I poke into the glue while I'm lifting up on the back end. And there, pops loose. Last part is you're gonna have to take this molding off to get to the electric hookup, which is right in the seal here. So to work it out with the plastic. Little push down tab on the front of it, slides right out. There we go. One Mach 1 seal plate. Again, we're gonna try and reuse that in the build. I've had my suspicions that this car was rolled. When you look at the A-arm here going into the roof line, this is all crinkled and creased. There's dents over here. There's dents in the back here too. Similarly, on the opposite side, the passenger side, it also has this. It's very strange, as well as the fact that having this, these are kind of weird dents to have, and the windshield was still intact. The other reason I just took this rail off, and you can see in this rail, there's dirt. There's dirt right in here and right in there. Now, how does dirt get in a rail? It's mounted up here, right? So I definitely think this is rolled. You know, it's time to call it a day when you're looking all over for your pen cap and it's in the last bag that you put away with parts. So my seat is not really moving back or forth. I'm not the tallest guy in the world, so it means that I'm a little bit uncomfortable as I did get to drive it. So I have to get the seat out. These are covers that cover the bolts. Just use a little pick to get that out. And then it takes a T55 to take these bolts out. Let's see. Fronts are not too bad. The rears are going to be worse because they're sort of under the chair. Well, here's another problem. The ratchet is too high and doesn't fit underneath the seat back in order to get to the bolts. Necessity is the mother of invention. So I didn't have enough room with the ratchet on top underneath the seat, since I can't move it back and forth. so I had to find a different solution. I figured out that a 10 mil fits on the bottom of this, so I can actually ratchet that. But now the 10 mil doesn't have a lot of leverage, so I'm going to put a bigger wrench on that and then see if I can get it to go. That's one. Success. All right, on to the next one. Bolt number 2. So it's 2 wiring harnesses right there. This little push button on the front. Push that down, pull them out, and that releases the seat. There it is. So this does not have, since they got the aftermarket Recaros, it does not have power seats. So it just has the handle in order to release. There's some mechanical releases here. I don't know if you can see that close enough, but a couple of pins here that when you pull this up, it retracts those pins. So this actually slides no problem. So let's see what the other side does then. So somewhere here's the problem. It's releasing, but it's not allowing the slide to slide. So after some further investigation and taking some plastic covers like these off the back end of here, you can see that this is kind of bent out and this is not riding in the rail properly there or there. So that's why we're binding up. After fixing the slider on the driver's seat, I continue to remove the passenger seat here and then kind of continued on the interior, which I didn't really get any video of, but it's pretty bare in here. I also removed the windshield that is now gone, and working on the rear glass, which we have some ways loose, you can see here, but I need another set of hands to continue on the opposite side. The new shock is in, electrical is hooked up, so hopefully that'll be one of the faults that disappears after we turn the car back on. When storing stuff for a while, it's always nice to stay organized. So what I do is I get a list of everything that's in the tote, and I get these self-laminating pouches and then put that on the tote so I know what's in there. There's another one. So when looking for stuff, it's just going down the list, seeing if it's in there.